What's up, everybody? It's your mental activist Montoya Smith, aka Black Duck. Uh-oh. About to get this thing started. I got my brother Sinsear in here. Let me take this banner down, add this to the thing, and we're gonna get this conversation started. We got a quick conversation with my brother from another mother, Sinsear, aka Derrick Clark, the author of the 30 Love Laws. Let me get this banner down. Give me a second, y'all. Moving a little slower than I need to on the technicalities. There we go. What's up, brother? How you doing?
Oh man, shoot, brother, we elevated, man. Shoot,
As
glad to
always.
be here with you. Shoot,
Nah,
man,
good stuff,
celebrating
man.
my queen's birthday today.
Oh, happy birthday to the queen. Well, we're going to keep this one short then. Let me get you back to the queen because I know how important she is in your life. And just highlighting, in a sense, a lot of us out here trying to copy what you and your queen got going here with this Black Love Dialogue podcast, private experience. So it is a different experience. And so I just wanted to basically introduce the audience as we prepare for January 25th, 8 p.m., the kickoff of the Black Love Dialogue, a private podcast experience. I wanted to introduce him to my amazing co-host like yourself, like I've been doing all week. And so, Cecilia, thank you for being with us. If you will, like I said, I'm going to get you back to your queen because y'all are practicing what I feel is very necessary. The foundation of the Black community has to start with the relationship between the Black man and Black woman. It is a cornerstone to any household, and a household being whole obviously gives an opportunity for the community to be whole. We are in a digital world, and as I always say with mental dialogue, for those who know me for that we could be neighbors without living next to each other. And so building up the relationships within our community, specifically for Black men and Black women, with the bad name that marriage and all that seems to carry, and people focus on how many divorces we have. I think there's an opportunity to turn it around, and we decided to go private because it's an opportunity for real healing and real learning. And I would say getting the correct expectations to move into that foundational relationship that is so important and vital to our community. So with all that said, man, thank you for being with us. Thank you for agreeing to be a host. And so any quick thoughts, and then I'm going to tell you why I chose you to be a part of this dialogue.
Absolutely, man. I love what you're saying. This is an intentional work, family, right? So that's what we're on, right? I am a holistic relationship coach. So what that is, now that's holistic with a W, right? Like it's the process of becoming whole in all areas of your life, spiritually, mentally, and physically. That's what creates our reality, right? So uh, I'll just say this: it's impossible to become whole and not connect to everything that you need to be whole,
Mm.
right? So that's what we're pushing. That's what we're creating an example of. It's not just talk, it's real life.
Yeah, absolutely. And all of my hosts, as the moderator, I'm the only one that is not married. I am engaged. You know what I mean? And so, so to pick out, in a sense, why I chose you, if you will, it is I've watched and learned as you and your beautiful wife Jules have basically been an example throughout the Atlanta community. I mean, y'all are known from the east side to the west side to the north side. I'm pretty sure even out the country which y'all love because it has been a prime example of what it can look like, what it should look like. And the beautiful thing about you guys is y'all help other couples achieve it as well. You're my relationship coach for something that, I'm sorry, you're my marriage counselor. Let me get clearer with that. Going into, what I'm trying to do, in a sense, copy that Black love with a foundation. We say this private podcast is for those who are serious about love, marriage, and legacy. And it's really about putting things in order in current times. And that's the beauty of, again, why I selected the people I selected. Y'all have all been real examples. So you're not just speaking the information, y'all are speaking from experience. And then, like I said, you are actually the author of the 30 Love Laws, and we've already done some things together. You've been a part of the Mental Dialogue talk show anytime we've talked about relationships. And like I've been saying throughout this broadcast as we're promoting this, that for all of the economic and political solutions or whatever we might talk about collectively, all of that, all of those plans are for naught if we don't have this basic relationship whole again. And it's no secret that it hasn't been whole for a lot of reasons. But there's still real opportunity to do so, and we want to get off the internet, away from the noise, to give people an opportunity to get connected to people like yourself in a more in-depth way. So that's part of the private experience. It comes with a cost, if you will, because we want it for those who are serious. It's not just you have access. If you are serious about finding and understanding the order of love, marriage, and legacy, if you're serious about this podcast is absolutely for you. So without me continue to talk and talk too much, man. Again, the reason I chose you is we've already have a relationship. You are my brother, but the other part is you and your wife are an example to all of our community. Anybody in Atlanta that knows y'all to know that we look for y'all to serve as that example.
Oh man, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you, brother. And one of the reasons why I wanted to do this, man, and especially during this time, before I jumped on, man, the Queen and I were just vibing. So I appreciate your patience, man. We were actually going through uh, our affirmations
nice.
for her birthday, bro, and we just got in that vibe, man. And I'm like, oh man, it's time to jump on with my brother, but we wanted to carry that vibration into this space.
Nice.
So it was very intentional that I set it up when I did because I knew what we would be doing, right?
Oh, wow.
So the people that's watching would get a unique vibration that's real, and there's no substitution for what's real.
Nah, and you pretty much have spoken to it, but I've asked every co-host this, and we're going to give people an example of what the private podcast will look like here in a second. But just to answer it directly, why did you choose to be a part of a private podcast experience versus just simply starting, or being a part of a public podcast, if you will?
Oh man, because it's in direct alignment. I
Okay.
want to be clear. It's in direct alignment with what I do, right? See, there's a lot of noise out here, brother, right? There's a lot of people that say they want more. There's a lot of people that say that they want to be more. But what I often give is that it requires an investment. It requires an intentionality, right? So to be better, to be more, to do more, to have more, you have to be intentional and attentive to the process that creates that reality. And this is a step in that process. It requires an intentional investment for you to be able to evolve and elevate. And it made 100% sense, and it's in alignment with my brand and how I move because I don't allow people to waste my time because I don't waste my time.
Fair enough. I love it, brother. So with that said, we're gonna go ahead and get this clip so you can get back to your lady. And so for anybody out there watching, we call it a private podcast. The reality is you're gonna have an opportunity to be a part of it. So you're not in the comments, you're actually a part of it. So if Derrick is I'm sorry, Sinsear, as we know him. If he's on the podcast, we have several hosts, so that way we always have different viewpoints, if you will. But for example, only two will be featured at a time. So in the event that Sinsear is featured for that podcast, you can actually ask questions directly. We're going to have a book called The Inner Work of Relationships be our first season, kind of as our guide, because it teaches us what we need to do individually to be a part of a relationship. So we'll use that as the guideline, but we'll also react to various clips around the internet and get these experts' opinion and talk discussions, because a lot of times what was happening on the internet, people are using the internet for a form of therapy because there's a lot of good information on the internet. The thing is, even if you hear a clip that is exact and correct, the context is lacking because you don't get a further development of what that short clip is. And so that's the opportunity for us to go in depth. We'll show clips like we're about to show now, and not only will the clips are strong in themselves, but it's the extra context in which the learning takes place. And so that's what we're going to be doing with the private podcast. So here's a quick example. I'm going to share this clip. Sinsear has not seen it, so you're still getting a natural, authentic reaction from an expert, for someone, again, who guides and helps couples get this thing called Black love as strong as it needs to be. You're getting that expert opinion. But this is a great clip in itself.
If you keep ending up with people who are both amazing and broken, it's not by accident. Your body learned a long time ago that love equals sacrifice, that connection only comes if you rescue someone out of their pain. Their brokenness makes you feel needed, and feeling needed was the closest thing that you had to love as a child. And so now you're drawn to partners who may have talent, charm, and intelligence, but underneath they're extremely wounded, addicted, and unstable. You don't just see who they are now, you see flashes of who they could be. If I just love them hard enough, maybe I can help them become that person. But here's the truth that no one's going to tell you. It takes a broken person to be attracted to a broken person. And that intoxicating attraction is your childhood replaying itself. Early on, you were forced to be the caretaker, the little therapist in a child's body. And if your parents couldn't take care of themselves, they couldn't take care of you. And a child that experiences this does the only intelligent thing that it can do, and that is to become the caretaker, so that one day the care can be returned back. And that's the trap. You fall in love with potential while living in dysfunction. You're chasing the ideal parent that you wish you had inside the partner standing in front of you. But the person most desperate for your love isn't them, it's you. The healing isn't saving another broken soul. It's finally saving your own.
Good thoughts, brother.
Oh man, amazing, bro. These are the conversations, man, that I often have, right? So we talk about saving the Black community, and I want to be clear about something. Our people are the most brilliant, the most intelligent, the most beautiful people on the face of this planet, right? So let's be clear and let's get that out of the way. However, there's been some things that has challenged that beauty, that intelligence, so forth and so on, right? You don't get what you want, what you like, what you love. You get what you are. You get who you are. You bring that into your world. Your magnet is what pulls that into your life, right? So when I was broken, that's when I had broken relationships. A divorce transpired from that. A failed engagement resulted in that. Why? Because I'm too busy attempting to fix the world and had not yet fixed myself, right? So now the reason that I'm happily married is because I became the reflection of what I needed to see in the world. I did. I changed the world by changing myself. And that's what affects my community in a great way. And that's another way to say most eloquently what my brother just gave us, man. And when I say my brother, is brother in thought and frequency, right? So I definitely appreciate that, brother. Great clip. Amazing.
Absolutely. I'm gonna hit you with one more and I'm gonna let you get back to your queen. And so for everybody out there watching, again, you're just the additional context, basically what I said on the last when I was featuring one of our other co-hosts, we want to be the self-help for Black love, right? Specifically, and when you think about self-help, it's just basically consistently getting the information you need to think about something. Because as I always say with mental dialogue, you can't act right if you don't think right. So it's an opportunity to continue getting this correct information in a very particular way that you can, as you continue to be a part of our community, because we want you to be a part of the community. It's not just pay for, in a sense, the experience one time. Become a part of our community and continue to get this information. So here's another clip. We'll let you respond and get you out of here.
Born with two dogs, invisible but real as your heartbeat. Violence and lust. When you're young, they're puppies, manageable. When you hit puberty, they become wolves, chained to your wrists, one on each side, pulling you towards destruction. The violence dog yanks you towards rage when you're disrespected, towards fists when words would work, towards domination when partnership is needed. The lust dogs pulls you towards every woman who isn't yours, towards instant gratification over lasting love, towards taking what isn't offered. Most boys think that becoming a man means letting their dogs run free. I'm a man, I do what I want. No, That's not a man, that's an animal with a credit card. A gentleman, he's mastered his dogs. When his wife frustrates him, violence sits. When his neighbor's wife smiles at him, lust heals. When his children defy him, violence stays down. When temptation whispers, lust doesn't move. Not because the dogs are gone, they're never gone. Not because he's weak, it takes infinite strength. But because he's decided, I control them, they don't control me. Every man who hits his wife, his violence dog is off the leash. Every man who cheats, his lust dog is running wild. Every man who destroys his family, he never learned to hold the leash. Here's what I tell my sons. Those urges you feel, that rage, that hunger, those are your dogs. Every man has them. Your grandfather had them. I have them. The difference between a gentleman and an animal, a gentleman keeps his dogs on a short leash. Always. And when you master this, when you truly master this, something beautiful happens. Violence becomes protection, the power to defend, not destroy. Lust becomes passion, the fire for one woman, not every woman. Your dogs become your strength, not your shame, but only if you're strong enough to be their master. Because here's the truth that should terrify every father. Between 16 and 20, those chains get cut. The dogs are no longer leashed to you. If you haven't learned to control them by then, you'll spend your whole life being controlled by them, destroying relationships, traumatizing children, leaving wreckage, blaming everyone but yourself.
Wow. That's sharp, man. That's strong. Yeah, that's strong, man. Have you seen my latest chain?
Yes, you showed it to me.
So I have a chain that has two wolves connected to an ump.
Yep.
That illustrates that same exact thing. Now, some people, they'll take a look at information and they'll put a color with it because of who's giving the information, right? So as a student of the spook who sat by the door, information has no color. Information has a purpose. So I want to share that because we're on the Black Love Dialogue. So we want to be very transparent with everything.
Absolutely.
There's no such thing as information that cannot be used. Our great ancestor, Malcolm X, would study opposing thought processes, ideas, ideologies, and philosophies, right?
My greatest
To
teacher.
sharpen himself. Absolutely, bro. That's why I mentioned the name. That's why I mentioned the name, man. And that is becoming a master, a wise resource in our community. So I love that, man. See, I was taught by brothers early on in my life that were gentlemen and gangsters, right? So one of the things that I was taught is that the gentleman is what protects the gangster. It's not the gangster that protects the gentleman in everything in his circumference, right? So just like he said, rage destroys. And to be a master, you have to learn adjustment to your environment, what's needed in the environment, who's needed in the environment, right? And that's what connects me to being an awesome husband, as my wife calls it. I can't be the judge on whether or not I'm a great husband. That has to come from my wife, even though I carry the title. And that's based on action, that's based on thoughts, ideas, and being a leader. As my first client, as me being my first client, right? That says that I'm able to project a level of reality into the world that's often driven by narrative and documentation over being and doing, right?
Absolutely.
So I just leave it there, my brother. Awesome clips.
No, absolutely. Awesome. It makes me think of my favorite saying, just because you got a dick don't mean she's supposed to submit.
Come on, bro.
You got to control them dogs. before you even have a chance for her to even allow you to lead. It's still governance, as you mentioned, that's given. Like I said, your wife says that you are this. It's not something that you can claim. It's not something you can speak to. She has to crown you as such. And so, and I am glad to be learning from you, in our counseling sessions. And hey, this is what we're going to give people exposure to. Clips like that, deeper dialogues. People can ask the questions. It's no performance inside of this private podcast experience. January the 25th, 8 p.m. Stay tuned. We put the banner up and we'll get out of here. This is go follow us on the Black Love Dialogue Instagram. That's going to be our feature page. We will have a YouTube page, but it'll be just for promotions. You have to, be a part of the actual experience. Pay for the private podcast experience. The next time you see Sinsear, we'll actually have that information on. We'll do one more of these before we get started on the 25th. And we'll have the information for how you can be a part of the private podcast experience. Let me stick up this banner and get this brother out of here. Thank you, Sinsear, once again for your time. If you want to share with them how they can follow you or anything like that, please get that off, and then we're out of here.
Absolutely. So if you are a couple, my wife is the visionary behind Honeymooning Forever, spelled out Honeymooning Forever, period. Right. So you can tap in with us there, as well as you can tap in with myself, Sinsear, Sincere. Peace and love, family. This time, we're intentional. Absolutely. We're moving the needle. Moving the needle. Be a part of the process.
If you're serious about love, marriage, and legacy, be a part of this process, as you said. All right, brother. Thank you for your time. Get back to your wife. Tell her I say happy birthday.
Peace and love, brother. Thank you, man.
All right, you too, King.
I say.